Go on a little hike this morning, maybe 4 or 6 miles. Nothing too bad, just testing out the ruck. Had a few thoughts I want to share with you about some problems that I see in the survival community at large, and bounce them off you and see what you think. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing your comments down below. Let's get after this. You see, when we start planning 3 months to 18 months out, the only thing that we know is that there is an objective, right? And that objective may be to ultimately to certify a company, battalion, whatever. You know, we have different tables that different units and organizations will run through. And that feeds down to the bottom. So it's really bottom fed training, if you will. But it all begins with laying out those culminating events. And those culminating events is going to drive the training that's done down to the platoon, the squad, and the team level. And when these things start getting, it's like darts getting thrown at the dartboard, you have a date, and that's about all of the condition that you're aware of. You have no idea when you start planning, other than having some generalities of what training weather may be like, what it's going to be like when you go out. Could be raining, could be a storm, could be absolute craptastic conditions, and you don't know that on the front end. And you're not going to make changes on it simply because the conditions change. And that's where this is getting to, right? We go out and we train in a variety of conditions. The standard remains the same, and regardless of what changes may or may not happen, the standard for what a team does remains unchanged, which is ultimately to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver, right? Let me know if you know what that's the mission statement of down in the comments below. Right, and so those squad leaders, those team chiefs, those individuals, man, they have to embrace the suck, right? It could be spring, summer, fall or winter, daytime, nighttime, sleep deprived, food deprived. Be on a Monday with a hangover after just finding out that Jody's been banging your old lady, after you totaled your car, lost all your money. It could be in the sleet, the cold, the rain, in a storm, through the storm. You have no control over the conditions, but they get out and they train hard regardless of the conditions, because the standard remains the same. Have no control over it, and that's a good thing. They have to be prepared to work through any sort of challenge or adversity. And I guess that brings me kind of to the point of problem set A, and that's, you know, I think as I look out across the community at large, whether it's folks who are out there producing videos, or folks who are out there that are doing live in-person training, I think they're all putting the best foot forward, you know, because you see dudes that are running their classes and providing their instruction materials all year long. Most of them, however, you know, won't post anything in the rain, and there's a variety of reasons for that, not least of which is it's inconvenient and wet. But their audience, which includes me, right? So I'm not discounting my role in failure and my role in responsibility. It's that we don't ourselves train for the variety of conditions that are going to exist, right? Survival always happens when you least expect it, in the worst conditions. And yet we always train in the best conditions, under ideal circumstances, in the time and place of our choosing. That's when we go out, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. I'm not telling you that we need to go out and break ourselves. You know, we need to understand how to mitigate risks. But we're fooling ourselves if we think that we're a T at a specific task, and that's T for trained, by the way, if we can only do it under one set of circumstances. So I'm gonna challenge you the same way that I challenge myself, man, is to get out, change a few conditions, change a condition. Maybe it's doing it while it's dark. That's a simple change. Maybe it's using some different materials in a different location that you haven't been at before, and so you don't know what to expect. You're just gonna use what you find. We continue to do that. If we continue to master our craft, and I believe that there's no stopping us. So the bigger question, I guess, is that problem set B. Why does problem set A begin to exist in the first place? And that's because of another issue. And as far as I can tell, man, that first problem is, as a society, as a culture at large, man, we are fat and nasty. We're creatures of comfort, you know? We just assume live in the meta. We just assume play video games or have somebody else do our stuff. We would rather import rather than produce. We want others to get dirty for us because we don't have time, because we're too valuable. That's our ego sinking in, isn't it? So I don't know, man. I do know that I'm thankful to have the opportunities that I have. I'm thankful for the community that we're continuing to grow here on the channel. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments and your thoughts down below about the struggles and challenges that we face as a community, as a society as a whole, and as individuals. Because I believe that if we continue to press into each other, learn from each other, we can only grow and become stronger. So as a result, man, I think our physical endurance and our mental resilience to dealing with times that are challenging and that are adversarial to us and our families and our communities, man, it takes a hit. Because if we're not preparing for hardness, we're gonna suffer. And we're gonna break. And all I can say is, not on my watch. Man, that's my 2 thoughts, my 2 cents. Again, man, I'm looking forward to seeing and reading yours down below. That way we can continue to keep this conversation rolling. It looks like we did exactly 5 miles in just under 2 hours, so I can deal with it. Man, I appreciate y'all coming along for the ride, but don't get it twisted. I need you to get out there and master your craft. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.